Hello everyone and welcome to On The Bench LFC. In today's show I am joined by none other than Connor, and also we will be taking live call-ins, but it will be a little bit later on in the show. But I wanted to get Connor's views first. This one will be talking about who has been Liverpool's best player so far. Now, I know that there is a lot of factors that will go into this. Obviously, you've got your strikers that score you goals. You've got your defenders that keep you clean sheets. Plus, you've got new players that come into the club. So it does also depend on whether you've got a favourite player. And it does also depend on, Liverpool's performances. Obviously, we're keeping clean sheets, so it may point to defenders being a bit better than what the attackers have been. But it also does make for a great debate. I can't wait to get Connor's views on it. I can't wait to get you guys that are in the live chat, get your views on it. Also, if you're watching this back on a replay, leave a comment down below. Who's impressed you the most? We will go over all that in this, get the call-ins going, see what you guys have to say. And then I also want to find out who needs to pull their socks up a little bit this season. People are still coming back from the World Cup. Fitness levels, they're not quite there yet. So some players are on different levels as well. So we'll talk about all that one in this one. As always, I hope you've all had a fantastic day so far. Liverpool Football Club are still the best team in the world. We don't say it's our season, but we've started well. We're top of the league. Connor, how are you, my friend? Welcome to the stream.
I'm good, thanks, Daz. Hope you're doing well, and I hope everyone in the live stream's doing well. It's just everything is happening for this club at the minute. Everything from on the pitch to off the pitch is going absolutely brilliant so far this season.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the one thing to point out that, I've noticed a lot of people have been saying is, Liverpool, they're not at their best at all at the moment. And I think everyone is we're all Liverpool fans, right? And Liverpool are the best team in the world. We won't hear any different. But every Liverpool fan that you talk to, they go, Liverpool, they're doing amazing. We're top of the league. We're winning games, but we're not at our best yet. But I think when people say we're not at our best, it's because we're looking at Liverpool in a different way. We're looking at different performances so far this season. We're not seeing Liverpool go out there and slap a team 4 or 5-0, Connor. We're seeing Liverpool keep a clean sheet. We're seeing us make sure that we're winning these games by being a little bit smarter during the games defensively. And it hasn't quite clicked as far as, pulling teams apart on the attack yet. But we're talking about who's been the best player so far this season. Do you think that it's fair to say that could well be a defender? Or do you reckon that there's a shout for a lot of the guys that's listening to this now? Do you reckon that one of the strikers could be in with a shout on this one? Because you've got Mane scoring already this season. You've got Salah that you can't write off. As much as people are saying he's not at his flying best yet, but he's still performing, mate, isn't he?
Exactly, and I think for player of the, not so much season, but like player that we are all happy with so far, I think people go more towards attacking players. But I think this season in particular, I don't think you can write off the defenders or goalkeeper, because obviously we've kept 3 clean sheets so far. And for me, I think the defenders can be proud of themselves so far. And I think that so far a defender or a goalkeeper is most likely who everyone is happy with so far.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm literally, Connor, I'm going to jump straight in the chat here, and I'm seeing people already, Virgil van Dijk by Leon. I've got Pulse saying Virgil van Dijk is the best. I want to say hello to Emma as well. Ferno's in the building as well. We got Lalu saying hi. Hello, Lalu. Thomas Billings is in. He says, boom. Rowan, welcome to the live stream, people. DB's in as well. Ray, good evening to you. He says Virgil van Dijk has been consistently good every game. So yeah, I think that's probably what it will come down to. I mean, we've only seen 3 games from Liverpool at the moment, and we got Leicester next. So is it a consistency thing? We're asking this question, who's been the best so far? So we've seen different types of performances from some of the players in there. If I'm having a conversation with certain Liverpool fans right now, I'm saying James Milner's been brilliant in them games. Gini's been brilliant in the games as well. There's been quality performances from Robbo. The list is endless in that there's been some great performances in certain games. But if you're looking at Virgil, for instance, and you say, right, Virgil's my man, is it because he's consistently been that rock so far for Liverpool already this season?
Oh, exactly. I think that from going back to this time last season, we needed someone to be that rock. And so far from January, Virgil van Dijk has been that. and carrying on from last season, he's been the leader of that team. It's like a lot of people have said in the past that Virgil van Dijk is probably a future captain at Liverpool. He clearly shows that he is the leader in that defence, and ever since January, we've all kind of been looking at him as like he's been at the club for, say, 10 years already, and he's most likely going to be at Liverpool for another 10 years. So I think that if people think that he's been the best so far this season, I think, to be honest, they are a little bit right. But going on later on and talking about it, I haven't picked Virgil van Dijk as my player this season, which I think someone else has, hasn't they, Daz?
Yeah, well, you can't just calling me out there. Yeah, I'll pick Virgil myself personally, but we're going to that a little bit later on as to why I have. It probably is a consistency thing as well for me. Emma's saying Salah and Virgil van Dijk for her, so that's brilliant. You know, I'm glad to see that Salah's getting a shout there, because all I have seen really across social media is what's wrong with Salah. We've seen about this row that he's possibly still involved in there, but I don't like talking too much about that. You know, I hope that gets cleared up, what's going on there. I don't think that Salah's performances is anything to worry about. I think he's still doing well, so I'm really glad to see that Emma's gone with that one. Sam says has to be Virgil, so yeah, I agree with that. You know, personally, I've gone with him as well. Junior says Virgil van Dijk is the best defender in the league, and it's not even close. I'm on that wavelength. I think this season we're going to see Van Dijk being claimed as the best centre-back, and if not the best defender. I don't think anyone will even come close to that. Michael says Keita, Van Dijk, Gomez or Alisson. The one thing that I want to point out here, Colin, I think this is brilliant, and DZB's in the building. Good to see you in here tonight again, DZB. Yeah, the one thing that I want to point out is I think a lot of us are going to be talking about Liverpool defensively or the goalkeeper this season. In previous seasons, we've been speaking so much about the front three, so much about Liverpool's attack because we destroy teams 3 or 4-0. But this season, it feels like we may be giving a lot of plaudits to the defence, and Liverpool keeping another clean sheet. And oh my God, you know, Liverpool are under the cosh. They come out of this one again with another clean sheet. Brilliant performance from Virgil, brilliant performance from Alisson, great defensive unit again in this game by Liverpool. The midfielders worked really well to track back in this game. That's what I'm looking for this season. I think we're going to see that. Nathan says Alisson. So, yeah, Connor, who have you picked? Because I've got a feeling that you've gone with the same as Nathan here. It's Alisson, isn't it, Connor?
Yeah, I've picked Alisson, and purely for one reason. For me, he's saved us points. Obviously, going back to the Brighton game, he basically saved us 2 points, because how many times have we looked at that header coming in from Brighton and gone, oh, we're going to concede now, and then Alisson makes a perfect save, in my opinion. And I think that going back at it now, if we hadn't signed him, I think that would be the one area where we would be continuing to not so much argue about, but we'd be whining about a little bit. But yeah, I think that so far Alisson's been our best player. I think because out of all 3 games so far, he's played 270 minutes. He's averaged past 23.3 passes, which I think he's probably up there with the most in the Premier League. And his pass completion is 90%, which for even an outfield player is outrageous. But for a goalkeeper,
it's filthy,
yeah, exactly.
Connor. It's filthy. Go on, carry on. It's absolutely filthy.
Exactly, and I think that it can only get better, really, can't it? It's like moving on like a little bit to another player. It's like Alisson has better pass success rate than Naby Keita. Obviously, Naby Keita is going to become a lot more better, but you can just see how much he has of that team and how much he can just control the game through just his passing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like this here. Ian is saying Gomez is surprising me so far. Yes, it's early, but he stood up and been counted in his proper position. Now, I really like this, and I wanted to point this out because we will see a lot of people say about Virgil because of how solid he's been. We see a lot of people like yourself that say Alisson because we finally got that goalkeeper that we were all crying out for. Naby Keita, we put out a poll on the Facebook group. I think Van Dijk was the one that has took that so far as the best player so far this year. But then I think Naby Keita and Alisson were the ones that was leading behind. you've got your new players that are coming. I also see a comment a little bit further down saying about, you know, Nathan saying Genie's like a new signing. I think Gomez feels like a new signing this season, Connor. He's come in, he's playing in that centre-back role now. He's been used on the left before he's been used on the right. He's playing centre-back. Keep playing him at centre-back. Do not move him anywhere else. I don't think Klopp is going to anyway, but he surprised a lot of people. I've seen so many comments on social media saying, no, Lovren does not get back into that squad all the time. Liverpool keeping clean sheets all the time. Gomez is performing the way he is. I've asked you before whether you think that Lovren will have to fight to get back in. You said yes. Gomez probably doesn't get a lot of plaudits in the sense of being the best performer so far. But if the question was who has impressed you the most or who has surprised you the most this season, would Gomez be in with a big shout there? Because I think he would probably be the most, the player that surprised me the most this season so far.
For sure. I think that for me, I only have two people on the list for that. And I think, well, definitely Joe Gomez is up there. The other person that's actually surprised me is Gini Wijnaldum. I think someone said in the stream that it's like a new signing, and it is a little bit for, not Virgil van Dijk, sorry, for Gini Wijnaldum. I think that he's been impressive, but Joe Gomez on the other hand, we've all been crying. Probably like Lovren isn't like 100% consistent, but we've all been crying for that consistent centre back to go alongside with Van Dijk, and we had him in our club. People were asking for us to sign a new defender to go along Van Dijk, but we already had one in Joe Gomez, which I think Jurgen Klopp deserves a lot of praise for, in my opinion, because it was talked last season, obviously we'd have Nathaniel Klein and Trent at right back, so Joe Gomez could transform from right back to centre back. And I think so far he's done a perfect job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he's been brilliant so far. Again, I like that you was talking about Genie, obviously, as well, surprising. I think the one thing that before the season kick-started, and we was talking in pre-season, and it was, what do some of the midfielders with Naby Keita coming in and Fabinho coming in? It was like, right, what do some of the midfielders need to do now this season? There was talk about Genie maybe leaving the club. And I was like, I hope Genie don't go, because Genie's always been a midfielder that I liked. I think a lot of what he did went unnoticed anyway. I think he was probably one of our best midfielders, if not the best, at that transitional game that Klopp's tactics, when we win the ball and we switch play from defence to attack, Genie does that very quick. He's very good at that link-up play in counter-attack, for definite. It's the quick, short passes that Genie does so well. And he's so strong at holding the ball as well. He is starting to get a lot of plaudits this season for his performances, but the one thing that everyone was saying is he needs to add more goals to his game, and he said it himself. But with the performances that he's doing so far and playing, you know, more defensive in some of the areas, his defensive work rate has really impressed me. I would go as far as to say that I don't care if Genie don't score another goal this year in midfield. If the likes of Naby Keita started scoring goals for us or whatever, Genie's performances have been really, really impressive. So again, like you say, yeah, he surprised me again this year. And I was actually a fan of Genie's before this season. So I hope that Genie continues to do what he's doing. I think the other midfielders that were already at the club that may have been looking at, Keita's coming in, Fabinho as well. We ain't seen Fabinho yet this season. And when he's available and Klopp thinks, I might pull the trigger on him, the other midfielders have got to start to look at the situation and go, what have I got to do to make sure that I start to get in the starting 11 in certain games? Genie's already one step ahead. I think he's pulled his socks up. And I think James Milner's the same. I think Milner is also performing to a level that gives Klopp that headache. Does Jordan Henson up his game as well? You know, as Adam Lallana thought in his mind, I've got to up my game. These players have all got to do that, because we will rotate throughout the season. We need to. We're in all competitions. We need to rotate. It's a busy year. It's a long year. But these players, they've all got to up their game if they want to, you know, get in Klopp's plans. And it's great to see that Genie and Milner have already upped their level, in my opinion. Those two have been fantastic already at the start of this season. Paul Pugh says, hello, Daz. Hello, Paul. How are you tonight, my friend? I hope you're good. Edur says, I feel for Lovren. I doubt if he will be first choice again with Gomez's form. Yeah, Connor, Edur there is saying that he feels for Lovren. Do you feel for Lovren? Obviously, we've got that situation over his stomach muscles. He definitely got better towards the end of last season. His performances were strong in the Champions League. He had a great World Cup. If Gomez, carries on the way he is and is really good and Lovren doesn't get back into the team, would you feel sorry for him, or do you think it's just a case of Lovren needs to impress. He needs to up his level. It's the same situation as what the midfielders have got. You need to up your game and you need to get in the manager's mind. What do you think on that, Connor? Do you think it's good for Liverpool? The more players that perform well, the better that is for Liverpool, surely.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a good headache to have, because if you have two centre-halves that are like battling out for positions, then that can only mean good thing for Liverpool. And I think that, going a little bit back to what you were saying about the midfield three, about Fabinho and that, it's like, if we're having headaches about who should be in our midfield three, what are other teams going to feel like? It's like people don't go, like going back to last season, towards the end of it, our midfield three was a little bit predictable through injuries. But this season, now with the squad depth, no one knows what midfield three we're going to play. Same with defence a little bit. Obviously, at the minute, we would say it's Alisson and the same back four, but with a little bit more time and people coming back at match fitness, some people, they might question it, whether if Gomez should be left out and Lovren should be left in. So going to that question, do I feel sorry for Lovren? No, because I think he needs to work harder to get back in that team. And if he can show Klopp that he can work harder and work his way back in that team, then I have my whole trust in Klopp. If he thinks Lovren should be in the team, then I trust him.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that as well. I think that's the one thing that we've all got to do, is we've got to trust Klopp. Come the end of the day, I think us as Liverpool fans, obviously we watch during the games and we see the performances on the match days and stuff, but Klopp is with the players all the time. He sees them in training. He knows who's best. I think the one thing is, we're looking at the Leicester game and we're saying, does this player maybe need a bit of rest? Because against Brighton, they looked a bit leggy in the second half. When we was leading up to the Brighton game, we were saying Milner looked leggy against Palace. Bobby probably needs resting as well. And then Klopp went with it. He didn't change the squad, did he? He didn't change the team. He stuck with them, and he said it was because in training the boys looked good during the week. They looked good, so he stuck with it. He's hinting again that there might be change. But come the end of the day, Klopp gets to see these boys perform during the training sessions. He knows who's best. He knows who's performing right. So we have got to fully trust the manager. And come the end of the day, like myself, Connor, I sit on YouTube on talking about Liverpool. Klopp, he's a manager of Liverpool Football Club, so he knows 10 times more, hopefully, than what we do anyway. So, yeah, if Lovren ends up coming straight back into the first team, then it would be for a reason. It's because Lovren surely comes back and he's fit and he's ready to get in out over Gomez. But the one thing that I'm looking at is, if Lovren comes back in and we've kept clean sheets up to there, and then all of a sudden we don't have clean sheets, I can imagine the Liverpool supporters saying, bring Gomez back.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? Dylan says, Daz, what happened to Adam Bogdan? Was he released or is he still at Liverpool? I believe he's on loan for the last year of his contract, and then I think Bogdan is well on his way after that one, to be honest. God, Bogdan, absolute Bogdan. That's all I'm going to say. What a signing. Spot on there, Connor. Oh dear. Fernand says Henderson is the perfect captain. He also says Curtis Jones is better than Lallana. Now this is a big call here, right? Curtis Jones, I'm going to put this question out to anyone that's listening to this, anyone that's in the live chat now. If you're watching this back, please leave a comment down below. And Lallana, I was speaking very much leading up to this season, saying that there was a lot of people that was doubting Lallana and saying his time at Liverpool is done. And I was like, oh, come on. Don't forget that before, obviously, he got the injuries, he was one of the first names on the team sheet. But is his time actually at Liverpool, what he's got left remaining, is it just going to be a bit part player now? Is it going to be a squad rotation player? Because I haven't seen much of Lallana yet to really be able to comment on him too much. But he's not going to get back in that midfield, Connor, is he? Let's face it. And Curtis Jones, we've seen with Clavan, for instance. Clavan obviously has left the club. He's made way because Klopp wanted the youth players to see a pathway into the squad. And we're talking about Nat Phillips there. Gomez obviously is playing games now for us. And then you've got likes of Brewster and Solanke game time up front as well. So if you've got Curtis Jones, and we know how good he can be, if you're Lallana there, does Lallana end up moving on from Liverpool within the next season? What do you reckon on that, Connor?
I think if Curtis Jones shows maybe in the under-23s that he can take that midfield role and then work his way up to the first team, I think maybe Lallana's days at Liverpool are over. But at the minute, he's one of Jurgen Klopp's kind of like famous footballers. Like, Jurgen Klopp is a big fan of Adam Lallana. He's one of Jurgen Klopp's boys, if you want to say. So I don't think he'll want to get rid of him, because he does. I think he brings that extra on. Like, for me, he is a squad rotation player. I don't think he starts in that midfield three whenever, but like, he can bring on impact in the game. Like, if we're maybe 2-1 down and we need, or maybe it's drawing and we need that little extra midfield, I think he can bring that up. But I think so far we haven't seen Adam Lallana because of last season's injuries. I think last year was one of his worst seasons for Liverpool, and I think the season before, or maybe the season before after that, where he had 7 goals and 7 assists, so we were all happy with Adam Lallana. And then since last year, we've all been a little bit, we want him gone from the club, and I think that's a little bit ridiculous, because I think he had squad depth, to be honest with you. But I think, will he go if, like I said, if Curtis Jones does perform for the first team? I think maybe his time at Liverpool will be up.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing, like you say, because Klopp, obviously, he absolutely loves Lallana. He speaks highly of him, and that's why I would say that I stuck by my comments on Lallana, that he doesn't go anywhere in this transfer window. I was saying he's not going to go anywhere, but I find it hard to see how he gets into the starting 11 this year. Obviously, we will rotate, but yeah, I don't know whether Lallana will be one of the players that might see his future, and if he wants game time, he might see it away from Liverpool. So we'll see how that one pans out for sure. I want to say hello to Father Nature that's in the building as well. Stephen says, Genie has raised his game to another level this season. I have to agree with that, Stephen, fully, like I say. What else we got? Andre says, hey Daz, just came to say I can't watch a stream, have to bounce. I'll watch it probably later. Have a nice Monday night. Let's hope Spurs United ends as a draw. Let's hope, Andre. Massive shout out to you. Thank you for letting us know as well. Mohammed says, yo to you, Mohammed. DBF says, Milner really pushing things. I have to agree with there. Milner does look like he's pushing things, and I think with Milner pushing things and upping the level of himself this year, this could be another player that is helping up the level of the other players around him. I've said it before about James Milner being a player for the youth players to look up to, but not just the youth players. I'm talking about, the likes of Genie and the other midfielders looking up to him. Naby Keita coming into the club. If you're Naby Keita coming in and you're looking at James Milner right now, you're thinking, right, this is a player that I should be looking at right now. He's got all the experience. He's performing really well. His work rate is top draw. He's a professional. James Milner is a professional through and throughout. And I definitely would start drinking Ribena for sure if I was a football player. And if you're Naby Keita, you would get straight on it, wouldn't you? For definite. There's got to be something in it. But yeah, James Milner's up on his level as he's getting older. People are saying it. He's like wine. He gets better with age. But there's something about James Milner this year, and I think we haven't seen the best of him still yet. I think he's going to get better as the season goes on, and as Liverpool get better as a team as well. I think as the performances of the team get better, I think the players like James Milner, I think we're seeing more from him, more assists, more goals probably from James Milner this season. Probably, we shall see about that. But Gary's in a building as well. He says, let's go to the King Power and stuff them, Dazza. I agree with that one. So obviously speaking about Leicester in particular, it's a big game. It's going to be a big test. This stream is about who's impressed the most. Who do we think is going to be a key player against Leicester? Obviously, they're a counter-attacking team. So do you think it will come down to us outscoring Leicester in that one? Or do you think Liverpool is going to keep a clean sheet in this one? Do you think, obviously, you went with Alisson as being your player this season so far, went with Virgil. So do you reckon it'd be a centre-back or goalkeeper that, wins that game there for us?
I think it would be more down to whoever's playing the sixth role, to be honest, against Leicester, because obviously in the past we've struggled with Leicester's counter-attack, and I think that whoever's controlling that midfield, because I think that's the big area where we win the game against Leicester, is that midfield. I think that For me, I would keep Genie as that number 6, but obviously I think Henderson might come in. But whoever plays there should command that the midfield perfectly, because I feel like obviously the front three will obviously bring the attack, but that midfield three will obviously help defend and also build up play for the front three.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that fully. Rajan says, hi, Daz. Hello, my friend. How are you today? I hope you're good. Paul says, who wants to buy Chelsea for 2 billion? Lol. Yeah, that's so true. Craig says, best player is Gomez. So, Craig, thank you so much for letting me know who your best player is as well. I like this. I like that there's a few shouts for Gomez being best player. I like that I've seen people say about Genie as well, because I think Genie's been fantastic so far. Interestingly, Mane, Connor, Mane's obviously, he's got 3 goals so far this season. I'm yet to really see anyone say about Sadio. There surely should be a shout for Sadio Mane being the best player so far. Does it come down to the last game for us that Mane, he looked a little bit off his game in the last one. People were saying he was a bit loose with his passes. Do you think that's probably why, and we were talking earlier about the consistency of some of the players, do you think that's probably why people aren't saying about Mane? But I'm not worried about Mane though. Look, GD says Sadio Mane will be good. I'm not worried about him, but I'm just saying, do you think that's why people aren't saying about him at the moment?
I think so, a little bit. Because, to be honest with you, I didn't even realise Sadio was playing against Brighton. He was that much unknown from the game. I think for people to not mention Mane is a bit of a surprise, obviously because he has 3 goals. But it's like last season, he started the exact same way. He scored, I think it was 3 goals in 3 games last season, and he's done it this season. So hopefully he can kick on for the rest of the season, because I think him and Mo Salah are going to be the top goal scorers this season. I don't know which one's going to be first or second, but so far from the Palace game and the West Ham game, I think Mane's been the better out of the two, so I am a bit surprised that people are not mentioning Sadio Mane as their favourite players so far.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at with it as well. I was thinking to myself, I would have thought that I would have seen a few more people come out with their names, but like I say, I think as the season goes on and the goals might start to flow a bit more and it clicks, I reckon we will. But I did say it earlier, I think this season we might actually see a lot of people talking more about Liverpool defensively and the defensive performances than what we have done over the last few years. I mean, especially the last couple of years, it's been about the front three. It's been about the attack of Liverpool. This season so far, it's been about keeping the clean sheets, and it hasn't clicked so far yet, but it will. It's purely just down to Liverpool getting used to the new tactics, I think. And instead of having first thought that comes to the player's mind is attack. I think now it's right. Defend, stay solid, keep compact, and then the goals will come. I think that is the way Liverpool are thinking so far this year. So definitely. Nathan says Sadio Mane will be top scorer. I said I could see Mane really being up there with the top goal scorers this year for sure. Louis says the best player so far is Genie, Mane or Gomez. Thank you so much, Louis. What else have we got here? Lallana stays, Henderson goes, says EG. So there you go. So interestingly, EG reckons that Henderson will be the player to leave out the midfield, but Lallana will stay. So the captain of Liverpool Football Club may end up going. We shall see about that one, EG. I'd be interested to see if anyone is listening to this back. Leave a comment down below. Out Lallana or Henderson, and for those of you that are in the live stream, if one of those players was to leave, maybe next summer, which one do you reckon goes? I think if one of them was to leave because of lack of game time, I think Henderson would be the one that would want more game time maybe out the two, but I don't see Liverpool getting rid of Henderson. He's the captain, in the changing rooms and stuff like that. I really see Jordan Henderson having quite a big part still to play for Liverpool in the near future for me. Danny says, can't remember the game last season, but he took a hit in confidence from when he missed a few chances and then he should have squared it. Had a great start to the season. Excellent movement. So I think Danny's talking about Sadio Mane there. So, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people have spoke about Mane. Obviously, I think I've seen a few comments already in the live stream about being selfish. And Junior saying Mane isn't selfish. I've seen that comment there. I don't think Mane is selfish. I think at certain points it's about you know, for strikers and attackers, it's about when you get in certain situations in a game, it's about knowing when to maybe square a ball, you know, take a shot on yourself, or when to find the right pass and stuff like that. And Mane has took a bit of criticism in the past of being a bit selfish and maybe not squaring it to Salah or Bobby up top. Connor, obviously you being on a show right now, do you think that Mane's been a bit selfish in the past, or do you agree that he's not selfish? It's just sometimes when you're as fast as Mane and you're getting through on goal, and you've got to remember that Mane, he's very capable of finishing a ball, isn't he, in these situations. Do you think it's just that, you know, being a player as capable as what he is, when you're through on goal, you do have this vision, you know, you see the goal, you want to put the ball in. Do you think it's just down to that, or do you think he is a little bit selfish in moments?
I think Mane is like, I think he puts the team first, but I think Mane has that striker within him where you have to be a bit selfish sometimes by going for goal. And I think that's where he is a little bit, but he is mostly a team player. But I think as far as people saying that he is right out selfish, I think that's a little bit of a lie, because I think the game that one person was going on about, I think, was the Everton game, where he could have, I think it was to Salah he could have given it to, and Salah would have had an open goal, but he didn't. He went for goal. And I think that is maybe one part of Sadio Mane's game that he can maybe do a bit better. But for me, I think he has to be that little bit selfish to score the amount of goals. Like a Mo Salah last season, he wasn't selfish, but Mo Salah scored a ton of goals. Mane has to kind of bring his level up to maybe match Mo Salah. And I think maybe that's what people are a little bit getting confused. He needs to add goals. Obviously, he scored a ton of goals last season for us, but I think he needs to add just a little bit more to his game to bring him up to maybe Mo Salah's level.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you look at our attackers and you look at Mane, you look at Salah, you look at Bobby, you say, if you're being critical of, say, Bobby, you say, right, he's a fantastic player and his work rate and what he does allows the likes of Mane and Salah to get into those attacking positions and score and do what they do. But when you talk about Bobby, you say, right, he needs to add more goals to his game. You talk about Mane, you say he needs to add more goals to their game. And then say in certain situations they don't square it to Salah, and then people go, okay, they're a little bit too greedy. And you think, right, but the criticism that you have of those players sometimes is that they need to add more goals to their game. So it's a bit of a tough one for those lads, I think, because they are up top as part of a front three and they're looking at Mohamed Salah breaking records last year. And if I was one of that front three, I'd be trying to compete with Salah. I'd be thinking, I want to be up there. I want to be trying to break records as well. So it's a difficult one. If you're Mo Salah, you know, it was just happening for him last year, wasn't it? This season, if, say for instance, the roles are reversed and Mane's the one that's banging in goals and Salah is trying to catch up with him or whatever, and he's getting, people say he needs to add more goals to his game this year because of what he did last year. Do you think Salah squares it to Mane, or do you think he tries to put it in the back of the net? I think Salah tries to put it in the back of the net. So that's just my views on it anyway. Paul says, when you look at Götze and Royce, they are a spent force. That's my opinion on Adam Lallana. Kind of reminds me of them, and they are the players always in and out of injury. I have to agree with that in a sense, with what Paul's saying there. If you look at Lallana's age and you look at the injury problems that he's got, you do look at Götze and you do look at Royce's, and you look at these quality players out there, and you can't argue with the fact that they've definitely got ability, but it's how often will they be available? And you put them in the same bracket as Daniel Sturridge. I mean, it's about managing the end of their career. And I think there was a really good clip that was circling on social media with Michael Owen talking about. Have you seen it yourself, Connor?
Yeah, I have.
He was talking about, you know, when he got to the end of his career and not making certain runs and being in certain situations, because that way he didn't get the blame for being, you know, not making a run or not moving in certain ways. If you guys haven't seen this clip, you need to try and find it. I can't think how you would find it, but I just stumbled across it and it was the other day. But it is true. I think if you do suffer with injuries and you do get to a certain stage of your career, then maybe, you know, you could say that you are past your best. Is Adam Lallana at that at the moment? I think only Adam Lallana may know that in his own head. Will he admit that at this stage? Probably not. But this is where I admire with what Owen was saying on this interview and being very open about it, because he was talking about this now. He wouldn't have said it during his playing time. He wouldn't have openly said it. But some of these players, you know, when they get to a certain point in their career, guys, they know themselves that they're spent to a certain degree, but they won't admit it. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not saying that Adam Lallana is at that stage yet. I think he's definitely got ability, but will he be getting into the first team when you've got Naby Keita, you've got Shaqiri that can play in that midfield three? People still want Fekir. I don't think Fekir is necessarily going to happen, but I'm saying if we do sign another creative playmaker for midfield, you've got Fabinho to come in yet. You've got James Milner and Gini raising their games. You've got Henson, the captain of Liverpool. It's hard to see if Lallana makes that first team on a regular occurrence. So it's very difficult. And I do feel for these players if they are hampered by injuries. I really do. And then you've got the likes of Curtis Jones, like we were talking about earlier, trying to have a pathway into the first team as well. So interesting to see how this one pans out. Craig is talking about Lukaku as Mr. Right Sitter. So obviously we're not watching it right now, but good to see that Lukaku, money well spent by them, of course. Robertson is worth 100 million, says Murtaza. So interestingly, we're talking about who has been the best player for Liverpool so far this season. Robertson definitely deserves an honourable mention here because he's been fantastic so far this season, hasn't he, mate? He's been really, really solid on that left side for us again. Virgil is a tank at the back, but since Robbo's come in, how good has Robbo been so far this season for you, Connor?
Oh, he's been tremendous, I think, in both defensive and attacking. I think we can all admit this. He's probably the best left back in the league. We probably have one of the best up-and-coming right backs, the best centre back, and the best left back in the team. And I think that he can only get better like the rest of the team. But I think if Robinson continues doing what he's doing, I think he can be one of the club's best ever left backs. For me, the best ever left back for me is John Alarisa. I think he reminds me of him a little bit, and I think that he, like I said, he can only get better, and I don't know what else you say about him. He's just that good.
Yeah, he can only get better. Robbo can only get better, and he can only get better. He's true. He's an amazing player. He is only going to get better. You look at his age, you look at how solid he's been defensively so far, and you've got to say that this season, I think so far, his delivery into the box. Klopp made a comment towards the end of last season, didn't he? I can't think what game it was or just afterwards, but he put in a good ball and it ended up in a goal. I think Salah got on the end of it, across of his, and Klopp was like, wow, Robbo actually found his delivery again. That was one of the reasons I think we actually signed Robbo. But yeah, I think his delivery, when it's on point, is fantastic. And you got to look at, if you look at our back line in general, we're talking about Robbo here and we're saying how good he is and how good he's going to be for us. But we've got a very young defence and goalkeeper for a goalkeeper as well. You imagine Gomez stays at centre-back. Yeah, say if Lovren doesn't end up getting back into the team because Gomez carries on keeping clean sheets. Gomez, Virgil, Robbo, Trent, and then Alisson behind them. That back five can play together for many years and they can grow together as a unit and they can only get better, as you said about Robbo. It's a real thing to think about right now, that those lads right there have kept 3 clean sheets already this year, and we're talking about a Liverpool team that us fans are saying that, yeah, you know, they've done well, we're top of the table, they're keeping clean sheets, great, but we haven't seen Liverpool anywhere near their best yet, so we're waiting for it to fully click. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So when it does click, amazing. Once that gets better, you imagine them 2 seasons on, they're still playing together. They've worked each other out fully. They know where each other's going to be all the time. They're telepathic. You know, offside trap is fully on board. Mate, honestly, it
like
could be unreal. Yeah, it could be unreal. And I think this is what Klopp has done to Liverpool. Since Klopp's come in, Klopp spoke about this project and give it time, give him time to work his magic. He's got that spine. We spoke about a Klopp spine. He's got a Klopp spine now. But it's not just about going out there and spending 80 million on one player and this on another player or whatever. He's built a squad, but he's also bringing the youth players into it as well. And I'm looking at Curtis Jones coming into it. I'm looking at Nat Phillips. I'm looking at Brewster when he's available, starting to come into this. And you think, all right, Klopp, even when Klopp leaves as manager, we've got a squad, we've got a team that if they all stay together over years to come, could be winning silverware for many years, even after Klopp has gone, because hopefully he leaves a bit of a legacy as well. It's amazing, isn't it, Connor? Look at the future that we could have, and that would be thanks to Jurgen Klopp, and you would say FSG as well. Even if FSG do end up selling for 5 billion or whatever it would be at the time, you've got to say thanks to what they have started to build here, and what hopefully we do achieve as well.
Oh, exactly. I think Gary Neville said it's like this defence and goalkeeper can play for the next 10 years. And that is only a good sign for Liverpool. But what would we think about this? We're actually talking about one of Brendan Rodgers' last signings for Liverpool in Joe Gomez. It's like Joe Gomez has shown since he got that injury way back when. I think he's just been... For me, I think he could be one of the future captains. But saying that, I think all of back four could be future captains because they just lead by example. Trent, obviously, is probably one of our... I'd say out of all our back four, is probably Liverpool's most deadliest. I think Robinson, yes, with the crossing, but I think Trent's crossing is just amazing. Obviously, he's been a bit off the pace this season, going more attacking, but I think he can be one of Liverpool's best ever right backs at the club. Even Robinson, like I said earlier on. But yeah, I think this defence, you could see this defence playing for the next 10, maybe 12 years, and we wouldn't be less than I think we would be now. Apart from they could be better.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's amazing, to be honest. EG says, Daz, they are all the best. I think so as well. Paul says, let's give Daz and his guest a round of applause for the great stream. So there you go, Connor. A round of applause for you, mate. Obviously, people are appreciating it. I think you've been fantastic today, Connor. I will be taking call-ins in a second, guys. Connor, when it comes to me taking the call-ins, Connor will get off. So everyone, if you've enjoyed Connor, please leave a thumbs up on this live stream. I think Connor's been fantastic today. I've really enjoyed getting his views on everything. DZB says clean sheet for Alisson on Saturday, 3-0. So that's great. I would love to see another clean sheet. That would be superb for Liverpool. Kevin says Robbo has been my favourite player since he came into the club for 10 million. I think he's been brilliant, Kevin. I'm glad to see that you're saying he's your favourite player as well. Michael Williams says Alisson gets a 10 out of 10 for me. That's incredible. A 10 out of 10 for Alisson, and he's only going to get better, Michael. So, that's going to go up to 100 out of 10, I guarantee you, for you. Another Michael says, Klopp said every game Mane and Salah aren't world class, but the man who is world class is Roberto Firmino. So true, Daz, do agree. So, Connor, before you get off, do you think that's true? The man that is world class is Roberto Firmino. Out of that front three, do you think he's the world class one out of that front three? Salah breaks records. Mane is a quality player and can score goals, but Bobby, is he the world-class one out of three? He glues that front three together, doesn't he?
Oh, for sure. I think that if you removed Salah or Mane out of that team and replaced them with another player, I don't think it has the same impact if you took Bobby out. I think Bobby is the glue to that team, to going forward and pressing. And I think that if he got injured, I think that would be more worrying than out of the front three, in my opinion. And I think that for me, he's just amazing from pressing. I think the only thing he could add to his game is goal scoring, but I think through time, I think he can add that to his game without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if Bobby added a few more goals to his game, it'd be better. But I would have to say, if Bobby was on penalty duty and he scored those penalties, his goal scoring tally would be right up there as well. And I think the reason Bobby don't get half as many goals as what he possibly could is because of the way he plays. He allows Salah to get in behind. He allows Salah to play that more of a striker than the right winger, because often Bobby travels out to the right, or he might travel out to the left. Often Bobby might travel back to recover the ball, and he's often deeper than what Salah and Mane are. So I think, you know, Bobby is that world-class player. He has more tackles than what most defenders do, successful tackles. So I think he is world-class. I fully agree with that one. Connor, massive thank you for coming onto the show, mate. I really appreciate it. Brilliant with your stats as well today. Hopefully get to hear you again on our channel soon. So a massive shout out to you. And for those of you that want to talk to Connor in the future, don't forget he helps run the Facebook group, which is On The Bench LFC Liverpool FC fans. So that is where you can speak to Connor in the future. Is there anything else you want to say, Connor, before you get off?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to come on the stream, and I want to thank everyone for listening to me rattle on.
It's been an absolute pleasure, mate, and I'm sure everyone really, really enjoyed hearing you. Take care, Connor, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Speak to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Bye, mate. Bye, mate. Right, so obviously at this point, guys, I can bounce off you guys in live chat, and if any of you want to call in, then feel free to call in and have your say on who's impressed you so far this season. Don't forget as well, I want to hear who you think needs to pull their socks up this season, who hasn't quite been on par. But the overall thing to say on it is that people are at different points of the season, different points of fitness. You know, it's not being out of order by saying someone needs to pull their socks up. I'm not saying they're not good enough for Liverpool, but what I mean is, you know, is there someone that is probably not doing as good as what you thought they might be doing already this season? Let me know in a live chat. If you're watching it back, leave a comment down below. Massive thank you again to Connor for coming on the show. Obviously, you can see the Skype logo is up in the top right. Whenever you see that, guys, when that little logo comes up with it On The Bench LFC thing there, that means that call-ins is live. That means you can call into the show. So thank you so much for you guys for not actually calling in while Connor was on. Everyone is saying thanks to Connor as well. Massive respect there. Connor's an absolute legend. What have we got here? So Kevin says about Bobby is super glue for the front three. Words straight out of my mouth, mate. I think that Bobby is definitely the glue there. I think Bobby glues the midfield to the front three as well. I think the way he drops deep and helps collect the ball off the other team and collect the ball off our defenders sometimes and travels forwards. The defence of the other team, they can't keep up with Bobby. They can't track him. They can't track his runs. That's what helps confuse the defence. That's what helps confuse the other team. And it allows Salah to pick up space. It allows Mane room as well. Bobby's a tricky character. And the one player that I would really not want to lose from our team is Firmino. Because there's no one else out there. You can't go into a transfer market and sign another Bobby Firmino. You can't. There's no one out there. You could go out there and buy a pacey winger. You could go out there and buy another striker. But you can't buy someone that does what Firmino does. There's no one like him. And you definitely ain't going to get any shiny teeth like what he's got. Or someone that's got as much flair as him at all, are you? Junior says Trent, but he's getting better. So you're saying that Trent needs to pull his socks up, but he's definitely getting better. Yeah, great pass in the last game. Cuffs it on the outside of his boot and it goes straight up to the other wing. Absolutely beautiful. I think his distribution's getting better. Especially in the last game, it got a little bit better, didn't it? But yeah, I agree with you. We've seen a lot more from Trent. I think we will see a lot more better performances from him as the season goes on as well. Bobby will score soon, as it says Gary. Yeah, I would like to see Bobby get some more goals, especially start to score this season. He's the one that I say in every game when you guys ask for a score prediction, I'm like, right, I want Bobby to score in this one because, as I say, I want him to get among the goals. I want to see him score. It would be, as I say, I would like to see him on penalty duty if he's good at taking penalties because that would definitely help his goal tally, wouldn't it? Ian says, our front three are one of the best attacking trios in world football. Name a club who is going to want to face us in the Champions League this season. No one, Ian. Absolutely no one. We're talking about the pot that Liverpool are in. We're talking about, people are saying, I hope that we're in a different pot. I think there's no one in the Champions League that wants to get drawn against Liverpool. Everyone will be going, no, their attack is scary as hell. And you got to say that people are going to be looking at us now this year and going, and they've kept 3 clean sheets already. If we play against Leicester and keep another clean sheet, people are going to be really, really scared. David says Salah is good, but he has tried too hard, especially his first 2 Premier League games. I think he feels the pressure. Interesting that David says that. Any of you guys that are obviously watching this back or in the live chat, do you think that Salah's feeling a bit of pressure this season? Could it be pressure that is making him not at his full best, or do you think he's just taking a bit of time to settle in again this year? We saw it last year. Took him a little bit of time before the goals before the floodgates opened. We put it like that. once them goals start flowing, we know how good he is. Oh my God. Was there anyone else in the world of football? Well, you know what Messi and stuff was like in front of goal, but Salah was so calm in front of goal, wasn't he? You know, he'd take an extra touch when you see strikers just wouldn't normally. I can't wait to see that Salah come back, and it will. He will come back and be that Salah as well. It's going to come. It will click. It will click. We're just seeing different tactics so far this year. Daz, did you see Trent's pass? Louis, if you're on about that outside foot pass, then I did, mate. I did. EG says Bobby is playing like a mid. I think so. I think he normally plays like a mid, to be honest. I think Salah pushes up further than what Bobby does in most games. Paul says the goals have dried up for Ronaldo at Juve. He's not getting the same service like at Madrid. Do you reckon it will take a bit of time, Paul, for them to get used to him? Do you reckon he will get back to his full best? A lot of people are saying about on FIFA that league will be the one, of course, for them, obviously. Oh, someone's just said, hey, Daz on there. If you want to call into the show, then feel free to ring a ding ding. And you can call in live right now. Yo, Daz, you paying attention to the Scums playing tonight? Mo, obviously I'm on the live chat, mate, so I haven't been watching it. I don't know what the score is at all. Fill me in, guys, fill me in. Dave says Salah needs his head sorted. The recent clash with Egypt may have been having a negative impact on his game. Do you reckon so, Dave? I think he's quite professional. I think that, you know, on the pitch, Salah will be focused on his football, hopefully. I hope so, Dave. That's my overall look on it, but you know, when you've got these personal things going on in your life, then yeah, stress. Dave, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that these things won't affect you because, you know, I've suffered with stress in my life. I've suffered with mental health issues and stuff like that, you know. So if you've got something that is a real personal issue to you and you're fighting against people like this, and let's not beat around the bush here. Salah will have a lot of stress when something like this is going on because he's a big... What is it? He's a well-known player. He's out there in the spotlight, isn't he? So anything, especially because of how big he is for his national team and nationality as well, he's a massive figure, isn't he? A public figure. So all this sort of stuff, he's got to be so careful how he handles himself, and surely he will be stressed about it. So yeah, I do get that this could have a knock-on effect with him and his game time, but you know, the way he plays, but hopefully when he goes out on that pitch, he's focused. I think because he's a religious man, I'm hoping that he can kind of get himself focused for the match and stuff. I don't know, Dave. I don't know, though. The honest answer is no one knows apart from Salah how he is on match day, whether he can shut things like that out. See, me as a person, if I'm stressed about something, you know, if I've got anxiety, if I'm suffering with my anxiety spells and stuff like that, then yeah, I can't shut it out too well. So can Salah with situations like this? I don't know, to be honest. DZB says, I think Shaq Attack will play on Saturday. I would love to see him play, DZB. I would love to see him on the pitch and doing his thing. I wanted to see him against Brighton. I said a good 30 minutes for Shaq would be nice to see, but yeah. Will we see him? Klopp hinting at change, but he was hinting at change for Brighton, and yeah, apparently during the training sessions the same team did well again, basically, so Klopp stuck with them, but we'll see. It's Leicester, isn't it? So we know what they're going to do. They're dangerous on the counter-attack. We shall see whether Klopp does put Shaq out there. I just want to see them big calves doing their thing, and if he plays, I think he's definitely capable of being out in that starting 11. He's a quality player. Father Nature says, I think Bobby needs to catch up a little, but he hasn't been back long. Trent needs to improve on crossing, and Fabinho needs game time against Leicester. I love that, Father, I really do. I think you're probably spot on there. I think if Trent improves on his crossing and gets gets his eye in a little bit more, we start to see Trent get back to his best. I think, as you said, rightly so as well, Bobby just catching up a little bit from the World Cup, get his fitness levels back up, and we see Bobby get back to his full best. I think he looked a bit more lively against Brighton than what he did against Palace. So hopefully we see another good performance for him. And yeah, Fabinho, get some game time for him. It'd be lovely to see him. I like that Klopp's not rushing Fabinho. I like that Klopp don't rush people. If he doesn't think they're ready, I trust Klopp. if you're not ready, we don't need to rush him. Fair enough, you know, because he knows more than what we do. We don't see what he's doing in training. But I think if Fabinho plays, I don't think he's going to do any harm to us at all. I think if Fabinho's on the pitch, I think he has a good game. But Klopp knows better than us, doesn't he? Stephen says, "Yup, Salah seems a little anxious to me." That's Stephen. This is a thing. I've had people that have dropped me messages over this stuff with Salah and say, "Do you think that this is affecting the way he's playing?" And I said, "Look, to me, he's still performing. He's not at his best, but some of the players like Bobby hasn't been at his best, you know, and he's not got this stuff going on." So I said, I don't want to say that it's because of this situation with Salah is why he's not at his best, because it could be anything, couldn't it? But I can quite understand if Salah's got this going on, that he would be stressed right now. And I hope that it gets resolved for him. I really do, because the one thing that you don't want is for these players to have other stresses going on. You want them to be able to focus on Liverpool, and just as a personal thing, you know, we were talking about Karius and wanting him, you know, to be able to forget about everything that's gone on and go on and do his best. I want Salah to be able to forget about everything that's going on. I want they're humans, aren't they, guys? They are humans. They play football and they play for Liverpool, but come the end of the day, you know, they're humans at the same time. So I don't want this personal stuff going on for them. I want them to be all right, you know, because we're all humans, aren't we? And you know what it's like to be stressed. You know what it's like to have things go on. And when you're in a spotlight like these football players are, like, sometimes, man, it's so easy to forget that, you know, they could be really stressed over certain things that we might not think about, but they would. Oisk says, "Hello Paul, how are you?" Oisk is here. I like to see Oisk in the building. And the Kilted as well says, "Just watch the first half of Man United versus Spurs. Think we will batter them both." I love the sound of that. What's the score, guys? Can you please update me? And that way I can update anyone that's listening to the pod. Not that will be out until after the game anyway. Hopefully the pod can go out. Obviously the last live stream I went to try and put it out on the pod platform and it kept crashing the app, so yeah, I think it was a bit too long. Daz is the best, please sub to him, says EG. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, look, if you're watching it and it's the first time you're seeing the channel, if you're a Liverpool supporter firstly, and you enjoy talking to Liverpool supporters, you enjoy live streams, you enjoy keeping up to date with Liverpool, you know, especially when the transfer windows are on, I update you with stuff like that. If you enjoy keeping up to date with the latest Liverpool news, I do the short update videos during the week now, Monday to Friday, you'll see the little update videos go out as well. Yeah, then you're in the right place, but obviously the main thing is about getting your views out. So phone-ins on the live streams. You can phone into the show if you're on Skype, and you can come on here and have your say on what's going on with Liverpool. Like today, who's been the best players for Liverpool so far? And if you don't want to talk on Skype, just get involved in the live chat. You know, that's what it's about. But please leave a thumbs up as well if you haven't already, guys. It's muchly appreciated. Father says Lukaku missed an open net. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. When they signed Lukaku, they was all getting all big and cocky over him, wasn't it? But I'm so glad that we've got so many better players than what Man United have. Monty says it's 0-0. Dazza, Oisk and the Kit would all have backed it up as well. So glad to see that. I want it to stay like that, to be honest. James says, you know how there is a podcast on an iPhone? You should put it on podcast, these live streams. James, that's what I'm doing. I'll put it on our Castbox, I think it is. I think that's what, yeah, Castbox is what I try to put it on. There is other podcast platforms that I probably can put it on as well, but I'm new to trying to put it out and stuff like that, so bear with me, guys. I'm trying to put it out on everything that I can for you. Lots of it you can obviously hear it, listen to it, watch it, whatever's best for you. The content, I'm trying to make it as good and as reachable for all of you guys as possible. I'm trying to get as many of your lot's views out there, you know, with the call-ins, make the content about you guys as much and the interaction as much as possible for you lot, because that's what the channel's always been about, you know, getting Liverpool supporters your views out. That's why I started my channel, was to get my views out and to speak to other Liverpool supporters, and it always has been for over a year, you know, live streams, talking to Liverpool supporters, interacting with a live chat constantly, and yeah, you know, it's hopefully we can do more of it, guys. Continuing. Millie is the best player for me, Dad says. Yeah, he says, however, if I'm honest, you've outshone them all with that beautiful face this season. Keep up the amazing work. Oh my god, blush my beautiful face. Oh god. Yeah, definitely blushing, but absolutely thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, thank you for saying about the amazing work. I really do appreciate the comment there, my friend. Yeah, I think as you say, James Milner for you as your best player. I think Milner's been fantastic this season. I'm glad you're appreciating the work so far for the channel, but honestly, for you guys that have tuned in and for you guys leaving comments and sharing the content on your social media platforms and leaving thumbs and everything like that, your support, every single one of you, it means a lot. That's why I'm doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. That's why I do the watch-alongs. That's why I want to do the call-ins, because I appreciate all of you lot tuning in. It's about you guys. Honestly, it is. So thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed already, and to all of you, honestly. Hoofball is back, says Monis. Oh, I'm sure it is, mate. I'm sure it is. What else have we got here? Louis says Manchester United 10 shots in the first half. As we got, Craig says ratings of players so far: Alisson 8, Trent has got a 6, Van Dijk with a 9, Gomez has got a 9 as well, Robbo's got a 7, Milner with an 8, Keita with an 8, Genie's got an 8, Salah 7, Mane 8, and Bobby a 6. Thank you so much, Craig. I think that's outstanding. If anyone else wants to put their ratings in there so I can read it out for the podcast listeners afterwards, then please do so. I think that was absolutely brilliant. And I like, obviously, your favourites there: Virgil and Gomez, the two centre-back partners there for Craig. He obviously favours them too. 3 clean sheets, how can you argue with that one? Paul says, let's help Daz reach 10k subs with the siren emojis. Yeah, we're on our way there, guys. We are on our way there. Thank you so much, Paul. We hate Man U, says EG. We do indeed. I think Bobby should be replaced by Sturridge. He's losing his confidence. Mohamed, you're saying about Bobby obviously losing his confidence there. Do you think if he's replaced by Daniel Sturridge, do you think that would knock Bobby's confidence a little bit more than that? Do you think that maybe keeping him will help him there? Do you think that it is a confidence thing, or do you think that, as a couple of other people have said, that maybe it's just a fitness issue, maybe coming back from the World Cup? Do you think that it could be new tactics? My way of looking at it, the way it's not clicked so far and the goals aren't coming fully, is because we're thinking more about the defending side of our game this season, not just about attack. That's probably why the way I'm looking at it. It's not gelling fully in possession yet, because Liverpool, their first fault is keep a clean sheet. Second fault is attack, you know. That's my overall look at it. I love to see the freeze in the live chat as well. We know what that means by now. That means that they don't like Manchester United. Mohammed says about the replacement of Bobby there. Let me know if anyone else agrees on that one. David says it's not right to criticise Salah just yet. He's got 2 goals in 3 games. Everyone should chill. David, you know, I'm with that one. I think Salah's been good for me. I think so. I think it's early on in the season. I don't think any of the players so far should be criticised, considering Liverpool are at the top of the table. I think they've done well. They've not been at their best, but we're playing differently. We've got new tactics. We're top of the table. We've got 3 clean sheets. We're doing what we've got to do. If we won the season playing like this, then should we moan about it? I don't think we should. I think we've got to do this. I think we've got to play this way to try and win the Premier League. First fault, keep a clean sheet. The goals will come. It will start to click. It's new tactics this year, guys. I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far, that we are trying to manage games. We are concentrating on being more solid and keeping more of a defensive shape, defending as a unit. We have to do that. How many games last year, guys, did we moan about, you know, Liverpool were 2 goals up and we ended up dropping points because we let the other team back into it? We was on live streams moaning about it. Liverpool are trying to adjust. Liverpool are trying to eradicate those issues, and that's what we need. That's what we're doing. So fair play to them. It will take a bit of time to adjust that. We've got new players in the team as well. Gomez is playing at centre back. Naby Keita's in the team as well. He's new to the team. It will take a little bit of time, but it's going to work, guys. It's going to work. You know, it's going to be brilliant. I really do think that once it clicks, I don't think we've got anything to worry about whatsoever. And why should we even be worried at the moment? Don't forget, Liverpool are top of the table. Come on, bring it on. Mo says Alisson with a 9, Virgil van Dijk and Gomez has got a 9 as well. Robbo and Trent with a 7, midfield 8 for a Salah, 7 Mane, Bobby 7 as well. Haven't lost, so can't give them less than a 7. I love that, Mo. The Kilted, yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Ois says, Daz, I missed a watch along. What are your thoughts on Alisson's showboating? Ois, not a problem. My thoughts on him showboating, it's Alisson. I don't think he'll ever not showboat or eradicate it from his game. I just think that's him. I think something that we need to look at is we always said that we wanted a calm goalkeeper. It will make for bad tickers. You know, it made the old heart race a little bit. I think we're going to have to get used to it to a certain degree. But yeah, I think Alisson's got to be aware that in the Premier League, he will be closed down maybe a bit quicker than what he was in his last team in the other league. But yeah, I think he's all right. He's got away with it so far. Hopefully, he knows that he can't do it too much. But it's part of it. He's Brazilian. He's going to do that. We all like the clips. As long as it don't cost us, then brilliant. Will it cost us at some point? It could well be the case, but I don't know. I think you want a calm keeper there. You want someone that's confident with his feet. You know, I think the centre-backs might have a word of him if they get a little bit too concerned over it, and I think Alisson will learn a lesson if it does cost us points at some point. So, yeah, at this point in time, you know, I don't think we should worry about it. I think if he does it and it messes up, there's plenty of people around him that will go, don't do it again. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah. I like that we've got a good goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. Don't want to see him juggling it too much. Just clear the ball. He's got great distribution. We'll leave it at that. Where was we? Mexican Waves says EGW. Yeah, obviously on the watch-alongs, we love the Mexican Waves, don't we? We get the Mexican Waves going on the watch. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Stephen says Sturridge is a super sub. Don't see any change to that. Bobby's too good to bench. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I think Sturridge is going to be our sub this year, and he Gomez ain't put a foot wrong and has blown me away. He's grown 5 inches in height alongside Virgil van Dijk. Lovren will struggle to regain his place. It does feel like Gomez has got taller, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. He's got a lot better in the air, hasn't he, Craig? Playing next to Virgil. Do you reckon he's in pre-seasons? Do you think he's been working on, you know, winning the ball in the air? I think it looks like he has. Connor says, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell for amazing content. My Daz and my schedule to join the Facebook group for discussions and updates. Indeed, guys, join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook. Obviously, that's On The Bench LFC, Liverpool FC fans. That group is like getting close to 2,000 people on that now. It's absolutely smashing it. It's good to see you Liverpool fans on there talking and stuff as well. It's really nice to see that growing every day. Absolutely brilliant. The Kiltwood says, give them all 10 out of 10 except Sturridge. Give him 11. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Mohammed says, does. Yeah, Mohammed, mate. Klopp is the man with the plan, says Kilted. He is the man with the plan, mate. I think you're spot on there. People talking about, should we be worried because no Buvac? I don't think we should. Interesting, guys. Liverpool have hired a throw-in coach. A coach to take throw-ins. I'm not talking about a bus as in a coach either. I'm talking about someone to, you know, to teach us how to take throw-ins. I can't remember what his name is or whatever, but I think he had the record for like the longest throw-in or whatever of like over 50 metres or something stupid. But Klopp wants us to be the best, you know, at everything. Corners, throw-ins, everything. So, interesting. Are we like the first team? I think we're like the first team to hire a throw-in coach. Wow. Absolutely wow. It's so interesting. It makes me laugh. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's brilliant. You know, Klopp is mental, but Liverpool are working on everything, even their throw-ins. Let me know what you guys make of that. I think it's brilliant to see that we are working on it all. It's very interesting at the same time. Salah lost his touch, says Anthony. I don't think he's lost his touch, mate. I think it's just the beginning of the season. I think it'd be fine. Obviously, people have got concerns over what's going on with his personal life at the moment, but yeah, I think he'd be fine, mate. I think he'd be fine, to be honest. I don't know whether that's having an effect on him. I hope it's not. I hope on match day he's focused. And I hope that what's going on with him in the row and stuff, I hope that gets cleared up very soon, so he's all good. EG says, Daz, just wanted to say you're the best. Thank you. EG, you're the best, my friend. Everyone that tunes in and joins, all of you guys, honestly, you're all the best. Liverpool supporters in general are the best. Thank you so much to all of you, honestly. Father Nature says, I like the thought of a throw-in, matey, as it's pretty much a set piece. Is you get a flat-driven ball in or around the penalty spot. Yeah, no, I get that, and we've seen it before where teams have utilised the throw-ins to, you know, have it as another set piece to be a threat. Like, it's almost like having another corner, isn't it, in certain areas? So, yeah, if we do that, is it going to be like someone like Trent taking a long throw-in, or who knows, mate? Who knows? But wow, absolute wow. You know, we might actually see someone like Virgil going up for a long throw-in or something, getting into the penalty box. Wow, it's incredible to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how Liverpool do utilise this now and see what we do. Stephen says, think it's great. A throwing coach might encourage not only longer throws, but more tactical analysis from throw-ins. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be about, Stephen. I wonder whether it helps Liverpool defend against throw-ins as well, because he might help us shut up shop against them as well. Paul says, Daz, you need to do merchandise to make some money for the channel. Cups, t-shirts and baseball caps. I know, Paul. I know. My first thought with the YouTube channel isn't, obviously, it's never been about making money. It's just about talking to Liverpool supporters. And then it grew into updating Liverpool supporters as well. And I'm so committed to trying to keep you guys up to date with everything, you know, especially throughout the transfer windows. You lot was coming to me over all that as well. So yeah, I will do it, because obviously the more money that the channel made in that sense, the more I can put back into it to make better content for you lot. But yeah, and the more giveaways I could do. But I will do it, mate. I will do it. It's just, obviously, if I'm not doing content on here, I'm thinking about spending time with my son and my missus and stuff like that. So yeah, as soon as I get off a live stream, you know, I want to go and sit down and spend evening with my missus. So it's just getting around to it, mate. It really is. But let me know. You guys drop me a message. Let me know what you lot would be interested in, and then I'll have a look at it. And if any of you guys think you can help me with stuff like that, then of course drop me a message at some point. I'm looking as well. I'm looking for more people. I'm growing a team. I'm looking for more people to come on and maybe speak like Connor does on the channel. I'm looking for 18 plus in that sense, you know, and people that want to write articles as well. It's just, obviously I've got, it's not going to be paid or anything like that. It's just I volunteer and doing content out for you guys. So it would just be, if any of you guys have got a bit of spare time and, you know, want to volunteer and want to get involved and just talk about Liverpool a bit more, then drop me a message at some point, guys, and we'll see what you can do. Harry Kane 1-0 goals. Also, obviously Spurs are 1-0 up. I'll take it. I want it to be a draw, really, in the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, it's always good to see United losing. Thank you for your time, says EG. Thank you for yours, mate, honestly. Yeah, I think it's for the goalkeeping, defending, throw-ins as well, says Joseph. Well, that would be a real big plus, wouldn't it, as well? It's a shame to see Joel Matip a nervous wreck. I so rate him, but he's really struggled since Alpha Male Virgil was joined. I agree with that, Craig. I fully agree with that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're getting to, obviously, the hour mark now. Thank you so much to everyone that's joined this. Please, if you haven't, please leave a thumbs up on this one. Thank you so much to everyone who actually did call in as well to, obviously, to the show. Obviously, Connor was on. If you're listening to this back, if you're listening to it on a podcast or you're watching it back, leave a comment down below if you're watching it back on YouTube. But let me know your views on it. Who's impressed you the most this season? Who hasn't impressed you the most? But it's still early days, so, you know, I don't think anyone deserves criticism, because Liverpool are top of the table, guys. Top of the table. Obviously, my pick has been Virgil, because I think he's been a rock at the back. But we defend as a team. We defend as a unit. So, in all, I think the tactics have been good defensively. The goals are going to come. Liverpool just concentrating more on defending this year. It's not all just about attack. It's about defending as well. So, yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to this season, guys. Honestly, thank you so much, and a big shout out to all of you that have been in the live stream this time. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always, talking to you. Some of the comments have been ridiculously good, and hearing your views, I always appreciate it. Honestly, guys, your time means a lot that you spend joining in on the live streams. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we covered it. Massive thank you to Connor again for coming on. Right, enjoy the rest of your evenings, guys. I've been on the bench LFC. You've all been legends. I will see you in the next one. And if you didn't, check out the video as well that was earlier today for the daily Liverpool updates. Take care, everyone.